Never judge a console by its launch. Judge it rather by the holiday season of the following year. And it's for this reason precisely that I am worried about current-gen prospects, specifically about the PS4. That might seem quizzical not only given my unashamed disdain for Sony, but also given the recent revelation that the PS4 has officially hit the coveted 10 million hardware units sold watershed moment. Everything is coming up roses for the PS4, or so the commonly accepted narrative goes, but you know what? In 2008, everything was coming up roses for the Nintendo Wii, 2 years before it wasn't. The Nintendo Wii is one of the most fascinating consoles ever released for myriad reasons, frankly. The Nintendo Wii is simultaneously, to me, one of the most rousing success stories in the history of the industry, and the single most important cautionary tale that can ever be told in contemporary gaming commerce. From 2006 to 2009, there was perhaps no more successful console in history. The PS2, I'm well aware, has technically sold more units, but production-wise, they also were well prepared for the hype they helped manufacture. Nintendo, on the other hand, were caught with their pants down. Even 3 years into its life cycle, when they sold over 5 million Wiis in a single month, they didn't come within a mile of meeting demand. If they'd been prepared the way Sony was for the PS2, those Wii numbers would absolutely dwarf Sony's second console without question. But the Wii's descent came just as hard and fast. In 2009, the Wii shattered the all-time single-month hardware sales record, and by late 2010, we were already reading the console's death rites. It's important to analyze what made the console a success, but I believe doubly important to know what killed its gem of Sidorak fucking momentum. And I think in the Wii's case, the answer is fairly straightforward. Games, or lack thereof. Launching out of the gate with compelling, party-oriented exclusive software, and doubling up the following holiday in 2007 with Super Mario Galaxy, sadly, that turned out to be the system's software high watermark. By the time the console made a concerted effort to diversify their software portfolio with games like Silent Hill Shattered Memories and Epic Mickey, for most gamers, the console had already made its final journey. What journey, you ask? Well, very simple. Between the years of 2008 and 2010, the Nintendo Wii went from the uncontested centerpiece of every entertainment center in America to collecting dust in the adjacent broom closet. It's a journey of all of 15 feet, Rageaholics, but in gaming, no distance could possibly be longer. Because once that console is relegated to the closet, much like Paul Stanley, it is never coming the fuck out. 2 years. That's all it took to take the Nintendo Wii from King of the Mountain to Prince of the Privy. And the absence of compelling exclusive software is exactly what did it. So perhaps now my dismay over E3 2014's lackluster offering is coming into sharper focus for some of you. Because what was the mantra of this year's show? Repeated like a Gregorian chant until the words were almost devoid of all meaning. Holiday 2015. How good's your math, Rageaholics? The PS4 launched in 2013 with nothing. And between now and the 2-year mark of altogether now, Holiday 2015, this console has Little Big Planet 3 and nothing the fuck else. Multi-platforms out the ass, mind you, but as we all know, those are available on last-gen hardware that a fuck of a lot more people actually own. The Wii had multi-plats too, everything from Splinter Cell Double Agent to Call of Duty 4. That didn't save its anemic ass. And by all means, let's talk about those multi-platform games, more specifically, how they're not selling on current-gen hardware. For Christ's sake, we threw ourselves a parade when Watch Dogs for the PS4 sold 1 million units. 1 million! Warren Spector gave an interview about a year ago where he mentioned that because of soaring production costs associated with current and last-gen hardware, just in order to break even, you had to sell between 2.5 to 3 million units, with anything on top of that being where you actually begin to turn a profit. 2.5 to 3 million. And we're throwing ourselves a party because we can shift 1 million fucking units on a PS4 that's sold 10 million consoles. Oh yeah, we're fucking saved. Look, I don't give a fuck how much momentum the PS4 or the Xbox One has. I give less than a fuck how many millions of hardware units it sells between now and then. If it doesn't sell a fuck of a lot more games before that promised land of holiday 2015, that 2-year drought brought the Wii to its ever-loving knees, and it can do the very same thing to the PlayStation 4. But there's an X factor here. You see, what accelerated the demise of the Wii, in my opinion, was the fact that there was a ready alternative. Two, actually. The PS3 and the Xbox 360, both of which, by the time the Wii's drought began in late 2008, were already building an impressive stable of exclusive software. The decision to permanently relegate the Wii to the broom closet was easier for consumers because there were 2 other consoles to take its place immediately. So here's a question that frankly haunts the fuck out of me. What happens if, for the first time in gaming history, both front-running consoles suffer a 2-year software drought? Given this year's E3 showing, it's downright probable we'll be witnessing just that. Yes, I'm well aware the Wii U exists and has some actual software on the horizon, but I think if we're being honest, that console is a different beast altogether with a different market entirely. If the Xbox One and the PS4, as they seem determined to do, fail to realize any compelling first-party exclusives for 2 full years, what happens? I mean, I legitimately lack any fucking idea. It's an open question. I mean, I guess best case scenario, in the absence of a viable alternative, does the industry simply tread water and consumers politely twiddle their thumbs until Sony and Microsoft deign to do their fucking jobs, then buy the games when they finally arrive? Or does the entire industry wind up in the broom closet in a rerun of 1983? The runaway success of the modern industry has gone a long way to getting gaming out of the figurative closet. Let's just hope these consoles don't soon find themselves in a literal one. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed!